It's 2024! Happy New Year, everybody! And you know what the new year means? It's New Year's resolution season! So the internet is filled with lots of new year, new you, how to start your fitness journey, how to look a certain way. The ideal body shape changes like it's the color of the year, it feels like. And there's all sorts of commentary on what you should be doing to lose weight, what you should be doing to build muscle, what you should be doing to look a certain way, what new health trends influencers are hawking, tons and tons of new plans, new personal training, new mobility, new yoga, new cardio, everything. It's all over the place. It's overwhelming. We're inundated with it. So instead of trying to add to this overabundance of information, in this video, I'm going to go through my top 3 tips for people who are beginning their fitness journey or people who are restarting their fitness journey, or just what to keep in mind with your fitness journey as we're in this New Year's resolution season and we might feel like there's too much information, but we don't know how to apply this to our own lives. Number 1. Fitness is the business of behavior change. And what this means is that in order to be successful in any kind of fitness plan, on any kind of fitness journey, is that you, the individual, you who I'm talking to, has to be able to change your behavior to be effective. If it's the business of behavior change, it's not the business of avoidance. No amount of money, no amount of FOMO, no amount of scrolling through the internet, no amount of quick fixes, no amount of questionable supplements, questionable devices is going to fix the problem of behavior change. What I mean by behavior change is that if you are going to start a workout routine, if you're going to be dedicated to a workout routine, you have to be able to look at your life, assess where you're at, and figure out a form of physical activity you enjoy doing and do it as consistently as your life will allow. I can't find your how. I can't find your why. You have to be able to do that. You have to be able to find something you want to do, you like doing, and do it well, and do it as consistently as your life allows. And once you've built this habit, you can refine it. But if the habit's not there, jumping into something intense or jumping into a program can be a lot, especially if you're restarting, if you're a beginner. Because if you can't build the habit, if you can't consistently exercise 3 days a week, you're never going to be able to exercise 5 days a week. When I work with my personal training clients, I do this all the time. On the intro calls, I want them to tell me their hopes and dreams, and I want to help them achieve their hopes and dreams and goals. But then after this, what we get into is that, okay, what does your life look right now? You need to be able to find something that works for you. If you can only do something 2 days a week, make it the best thing you can do 2 days a week. If you can only do something 3 days a week, make it the best thing you can do 3 days a week. You shouldn't be trying to set yourself up to fail, because if you're setting yourself up to fail, you're not going to be able to do effective behavior change. Now, the only way you're ever going to start is to get to 1. And once you can get to 1 consistently, you can get to 2. And once you get to 2, wait for it, you can get to 3. And once you get to 3, you can get to 4. And from there, you can get to 5. You have to be able to commit to doing one thing before you can be able to commit to doing a lot of things. One thing that people struggle with in behavior change is that they treat fitness like they have to eat an entire elephant in one bite. But you can't eat an elephant that way. You have to take the bite or the chunk that is most doable for you at that given moment, and then find the next one and the next one and the next one. And once you're able to do that, you're going to find more answers. You're going to find more consistency. You're going to find what you can do next. If you let the most ambitious thing in the world get in the way of starting, you're never going to start. This behavior change journey is a lot about growth. It's a lot about learning new things. And if you're going to do that, you have to give yourself permission to fail, and you have to set realistic, achievable, time-bound goals for you to succeed. If you can acknowledge this is about behavior change and setting up a plan for you to change your behavior as much as follow a workout, you will be set up to succeed. Number 2, this isn't a punishment. Now, the way we kind of view ideal body types has never been like perfect. It's always been questionable. It's always been incredibly subjective. You may not think you have an ideal body type, but somebody else might think you have an ideal body type. or it just might change throughout the years. If you go on YouTube and Google 100 years of the ideal female body type, you'll see everything. And the reason I'm starting with this is because when we see something we want to envision as our ideal self, we want to change, we want to lose weight, we want to gain muscle, we want to chase aesthetic goals, we want to chase health goals. We chase something really ambitious, and chasing something really ambitious is good, but there's a really fine line between chasing something really ambitious and turning that into a form of punishment. Ambitious goals are good, but when we haven't reached them, we use this gap kind of as a way to punish ourselves, because there's still a bit of distance between where we are and where we want to be. But when we look solely at that bit of distance, we completely lose sight of where we are today versus where we were a long time ago. We've worked out 3 days a week for a month, but we don't yet have a six-pack. We can run an 8-minute mile, but we can't run 10 consecutive 8-minute miles. So we feel like we need to blow up our plan or blow up ourselves as a way to get there. This is the worst way to do things. This is taking something ambitious. This is taking that drive, that willingness, that ambition to do something and turning it into a way to punish ourselves because we haven't got 100% of the way there. This is going to set you up to fail because you are basically detonating your goals. You're basically blowing up something perfectly good in the name of not having reached it yet, or not going fast enough, or you're not feeling fulfilled enough. That's not behavior. That's not the right kind of behavior change, because you're losing sight of what you can do and starting to focus more on what you can't do, or what you haven't achieved, or what isn't going well, or what isn't going right, instead of what you can do to fill in that final 10%. You shouldn't let that last part of it be a way to blow up all of the progress you have made. This isn't a way to punish yourself for not looking a certain way, for not acting a certain way, for not having a certain sort of health metric or other athletic performance metric. And if something that is challenging and ambitious starts to feel like a punishment, you need to stop and you need to recalibrate. If we are going to effectively change our behavior, we have to effectively set ourselves up for success and not treating this as a punishment. Now, some people respond to coaching hard. Like, I know you can do your last set because I know you're not going to let this opportunity slip away, and I know you have it in you. You have to find it within you. That's coaching somebody hard and pushing someone and being a bit aggressive. That's really different than, if you don't do this, you're a failure, you're never going to do well, and you're never going to look like Kim Kardashian, and you're never going to achieve any goal ever. That is basically taking something where you have to push somebody hard to motivate them to do something good and turning that into a punishment. If you hear that from someone you're working with, run, fire them. That's the number one side of a bad personal trainer. And number two, if you find yourself in that kind of thought cycle, which isn't impossible to find yourself in, because if you're on a behavior change journey, there's always the potential for lapses. There's always the potential for things to go wrong, for life to get in the way. And if you let yourself get into the punishment-like state, you're going to see this as a failure. And if you see this as a failure, you're kind of jinxing yourself before you can start. You have to treat failure as an opportunity to start over, and you shouldn't be basically using this as a way to punish yourself. You have to make sure your behavior is changing in a way for the better, so that you can see this as an opportunity rather than something you can constantly beat yourself up for. Setting yourself up to fail, setting yourself up to be punished is not the way to get to long-term sustainable behavior change. You have to remember that. This isn't a punishment. This is an opportunity for you to become a better version of yourself. Number 3, this isn't a contest. It's not a contest with your phone. It's not a contest with your friends. It's not a contest with things you see in real life or on the internet. Comparison is the thief of joy. Teddy Roosevelt said this, wise man, and it applies here 100%. I think a lot of the times the internet does a lot to influence how we interact with fitness, especially if you're a bit younger. And when you see things that are kind of at the top of an algorithm, at the top of a social media feed, is like, oh my God, I can't walk on my hands, or deadlift 400 pounds, or do this crazy yoga pose, or run a half marathon in an hour. These are all kind of elite athletic performance things. And when we see this, we start thinking, oh no, I can't do this. I'm a failure. I can't move on. I'm getting into this negative downward thought spiral. And we think because we can't do this, we're a disaster. And that's not the case. This is not a contest. You aren't doing this to compare yourself to anyone but yourself. You do this for you. You change your behavior for you. Just because you can't do something today, it doesn't mean you'll never be able to do something in the future. Today is not permanent, but what today can be is an opportunity for you to change and for you to become a better version of yourself. You can take today as an opportunity to commit, to try, to figure out where the behavior change opportunities are, to figure out how to treat this as an opportunity for growth rather than punishment, and then do it. That's kind of the beauty of like the Nike Just Do It slogan. You have to find it within you to try and just do it. And if you can do that, you can succeed. And whenever you're kind of finding yourself scrolling through the internet, you also just have to keep a laser focus on things like exercise is not plastic surgery. Exercise is not Photoshop. Exercise are not filters or whatever else can get you to the top of a social media algorithm. These things do not reflect reality. They don't reflect truth. They don't reflect you or what you're capable of or not capable of because you're not doing whatever gets to the top of your newsfeed. The number one thing to also keep in mind here is that the people who build a lot of these products don't let the people they love anywhere near them. So if you need to give yourself permission to step away, by all means, step away. You are not in a contest with the algorithm. You are not in a contest with your phone. You are on a contest with you and how you can become the best version of you. Again, aspiration is good. We should want to aspire to do a handstand. We should want to aspire to be able to lift as much as we can, but we can't let that be the thief of joy or the thief of what we can achieve in this moment. Aspiration cannot steal progress, and we can't get into a ridiculous contest you can't win. You can't win a contest with an algorithm, but you can win a contest with yourself. And once you begin your fitness journey, you're going to see that you're going to constantly be learning. You're going to be constantly growing. There's going to be constantly new things for you to achieve, for you to conquer, for you to unlock. This is not stagnant. This is not permanent. This is something that it's one of the few things that you have the power to change within you. And once you figure out that you can do that and you can keep staying on this journey, you can go far. This is why people call it a journey. It's not a destination. It's not one thing to complete. It's one thing that you're going to do as long as you can so you can keep learning, keep growing, keep moving, and keep discovering what you're capable of. One of the best things that exercise can do is build confidence for what you are capable of. And if you're just going to get into a ridiculous contest with your super fit best friend or some person you see online, you're not going to win, because you can only win if you compete against yourself to find that better version of you, to find that confidence, to find what you're capable of. All three of these things basically boil down to this. Find something you love to do. Do it as consistently as your life will allow. If you can only do something one day a week, do it one day a week. There's no shame in that. The only shame is in not starting or not trying. Don't treat this like a punishment. This shouldn't be a punishment. This should be a way for you to find something better, not punish yourself for what you don't have in the moment. Give yourself permission not to do this for anyone but you and what you want to be in the future. If you can do this, I guarantee you will be able to change your life, have your own remarkable fitness journey, and write your own story. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, drop me a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think of January and all of the new year, new you stuff out there. January is also going to be how to start month on this channel. So this month, all of my videos are going to be about kind of how to start, how to kind of think about making routines for yourself, how to kind of think about developing your own workout plans or things to look for within other people's workout plans, and how to assess kind of your own baseline fitness. So everything you'd kind of want to know about starting or trying to meet that New Year's resolution with fitness. I hope wherever you are on your fitness journey in 2024, it will be something that can bring you fulfillment, something that you can enjoy, something that brings you confidence, and something you can use to become the best version of you. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you next week.